Rob on the right.
Hey, Rob. As regards Zach, how much more of a challenge is it to make decisions on when to take him out of a game or leave him in, considering he's your number one, he's a horse and has been for this franchise since he's been here? Is it more of a challenge, or is it the same? Like, are there tells that you can say it's time?
Yeah, usually it's velocity or the amount of contact or the hard contact that he's starting to give up. So I don't think it's any harder or easier with him. It's just reading the game and reading his stuff.
Matt, all the way on the left.
So as you've gotten your advance report and you're starting to dig in kind of to this matchup, what sticks out to you just at first glance?
Yeah, I really didn't have to read the reports to know that they're really athletic and they got a lot of speed. They play tremendous defense. They cover a lot of space. They run. And when you think they're done running, they're going to run some more. And they've got some thump in the middle of their lineup. Good pitching. This is a really good club. It's no coincidence that they were in first place out there in the West for a long time. So it's a good club.
How, what's your situation? I know you're not going to name a fourth starter at this point, but how are you going to play that? Like, Taiwan and Christopher both have not pitched in weeks now. You have sing games for them, maybe. Like, what do you do to maybe get? Yeah,
we had something prepared today, but we're not going to be able to get out in the field, so we'll have to do something shorter tomorrow.
And Chris, both?
Yeah, probably.
And do you anticipate any changes to your roster for this series?
We'll see. We're still going through that. So.
Okay.
Todd in the front left.
Speaking of their athleticism and speed, Nola has worked on the slide step, and that's been effective. And then Kimbrel, has he worked on something to make him a little bit less susceptible?
Yeah, just a little bit quicker to the plate. You know, he's not going to. I wouldn't call it a slide step, but he's trying to be quicker to the plate, so that gives our catchers a chance.
Just overall, your pitcher's ability to maybe reduce the ability of Arizona to kind of run wild on you guys. How good do you feel about that with JT behind the plate?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it right now. You know, if you asked me that question a month ago, I would have had a different answer. But yeah, our guys are conscious of it and trying to speed up, trying to give JT a chance, and so I feel good about it.
And there was a moment where you kind of dropped the hammer, so to speak, on that.
Well, the coaching staff, yeah, you know, we got together and we talked to certain guys that we need to speed up a little bit, and certainly Aaron's done a tremendous job at it. So yeah, there's been a conscious effort throughout the staff.
Okay, Scott in the third row.
It's been some months now since you played him. I wonder, when you look at Corbin Carroll and the year he had, what are the reports telling you about kind of his second half and versus what you guys saw maybe in May and June in terms of how he's progressed as a star player in this league?
Well, he's had a hell of a year. He really has. I mean, he can do a lot of different things, and I think it's been fairly consistent throughout the year. The combination of speed and power. We had him out there at the All-Star game, and he's a true professional. Really respects the game. I really like this kid. He's got a lot of talent, and he's a force out there. So we got to keep our eye on him. But he's been good all year, very consistent all year. In fact, probably gotten a little better as the year's gone on. And their whole team during the Dodger series was hot, so we got to be aware of that.
Let's go to Jesse in the back first, and then.
Hey, Rob. The other day, Trey called Castellanos pretty unique, and many people have. How would you describe him? You've been around so many players. He is a little different, but how would you do it? How do you describe him as a manager?
I think unique's a good word. You know, Nick's a very deep thinker, and he thinks about a lot of things, and he thinks about them deeply. And sometimes, you know, he doesn't give the answers that most people give, I guess.
Is that including one-on-one interactions with you? Is he kind of deep thinking there and doesn't even give you the answers you'd expect sometimes?
No, he gives me the answers, but he is a deep thinker, and he thinks about things that a lot of people don't.
Okay,
There's
Rob
nothing
here.
wrong with that.
Rob here on the right.
I want to ask you about Zach Gallen. Last time you saw him here, you had a lot of success. It was early in your tenure. He's a local guy. What do you think the pressures are to pitch in front of family, friends, and obviously now you add on the NLCS and facing your lineup? Like what you saw from him, what do you think of him?
Well, he's great. Again, another guy we had at the All-Star game, and I got to spend some time with him because the Arizona front office or PR department, they wanted to do a piece with him and I driving to the ballpark. So I got to spend some time with him, got to know him. He's a tremendous guy. Reminds me a lot of Aaron Nola, as a matter of fact. How he's going to respond in this atmosphere amongst his family, I think that's it's different for everybody. You know, you look at Wheels, he goes down into Atlanta at home in front of his family, and he typically pitches very well. Zach's pitched, I think we got him last year. I think he pitched very well the first time this year. So I think it's just case by case.
Matt on the left.
You won a series in the division series, starting Ranger twice in that series, and with the gains that you've seen from him in the postseason, how crucial of a piece does he become in a 7-game series? Because now all of a sudden he is your third guy, but how do you feel like he matches up with another team's third guy hypothetically? I mean, given how he's pitched.
Very well. I mean, our top three, I'd put them against anybody, really, to tell you the truth, especially where they're pitching right now. And as I've said many times, the moment's not going to get to Ranger. He's just a cool customer. He's going to go out there and he's going to pitch and he's going to use his stuff. He's going to locate his fastball and keep people off balance. So I feel really good about Ranger pitching against anybody, to tell you the truth.
And then they have they have strong righty hitters who go behind Carroll. Do you feel like there is a difficult sort of needle to thread there, maybe later in games when Carroll's numbers against lefties are not as good as righties, but then they have the righties there? Like, is there a needle you can thread, you think, matching up?
Yeah, I don't. I think we match up pretty well against right-handed pockets, you know, because you've got Strom who gets right-handers out, you've got Alvarado who gets right-handers out, and then we've got all of our right-handers. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
Okay, Todd in the front.
Before game one, you said you kind of gave the relievers a heads up, like, you know, be prepared, go out there early because we might be really aggressive. I was wondering, was there a message before game 4 in that, you know, you used Alvarado and Kimbrel generally much earlier than they normally would, so like nobody, I guess, panicked or wondered what was going on or anything like that? Because I know the guys like to know their roles, you know.
Yeah, I don't think we gave them a specific message because, to a man, they've told me, whenever you need me, however long you need me, I'm all in.
And then I'm sure your heart might have skipped a beat when Bryce.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, though, how impressed have you been with the way he learned an entirely new position and has played there this year?
Incredible, really. You know, I didn't expect this much from him on the defensive side of it, but he's taken to it really well. And you know, we've had a few miscues along the way, but I'm really, really impressed with his progress and where he's at right now.
And do you remember how that conversation first started? Like the first time you guys, did he broach it to you or did you broach it to him? I can't remember.
I believe he brought it to my attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then your reaction was, this is crazy, or?
No, I think it was more like, let me think about that. I got to talk to some people about that. And, but really, if that's what he wanted to do, I thought it would make our club a lot better as long as he could play the position and play it well, and he has.
And what was the people that you had to check with? What was their reaction when he said, "Hey,
All
Bryce
in.
just they
Yeah.
were"? Okay.
Yeah.
Matt and then Scott.
How's he doing?
Oh, he's good. He's good to go. He's in here today, and yeah, he's good to go.
Scott.
Just out of curiosity, and I know this is maybe a conversation for when all of this is over, but since we're talking about Bryce at first base, has he expressed an interest in wanting to keep doing this, or how do you think he feels about first base? Like, is this a temporary thing, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure because I haven't asked him specifically that question. So that was a question I'm going to ask him when it's all said and done.
Anybody else? Rob again on the right.
Since we're talking Bryce, I don't know if you happen to catch his, and this may be old hat to you, but his interview on Pat McAfee yesterday, he was asked about how he deals with pressure situations, right? And I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, when you're 15 years old and you're going to be the number one pick and you have to provide for your entire family and change their lives by performing, this is fun. Do you ever tap into that approach that he has and sort of lean on that with the rest of your team? It's a really unique perspective in red light moments that not everybody has.
Yeah, I didn't see the interview, but I think, again, everybody's a little bit different with how they deal with pressure and how they think about it. And so that's how Bryce thinks about it, is what the pressure he had as a kid helps him deal with what's going on today. And I think a lot of guys are like that. I'm certainly like that. So I think it's case by case. Some guys, I don't know, it might be something in college or something in the minor leagues. Some guys feel more pressure in AAA to get to the big leagues than they do once they're here. So it's different for everybody, I think.
For you then, how do you handle it?
Well, I was going to retire a couple years ago. So, there's really not much pressure on me right now.
All right. Anybody else for Tom's? Okay. Thank you.
Outdoors, yeah. So everybody's staying indoors.
Yeah, I can help you with that after this. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.